Well, good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Bill.
We're talking about the new FHA portal. What do you want to tell us about that?
Well, this past week, the FHA announced that they're going to require everyone to submit the appraisals through their new portal. But they actually are now making it effective until June 27th of 2016.
Wow.
So long lead time.
And like all technology projects, it's subject to extension.
Well, hopefully. I mean, it's the same company managing the portal that it manages it for the GSE, so everything is virtually the same. So I can't imagine that it would be too difficult, but who knows? And in any case, they're going to have a rollout prior to that, phasing people in, and we'll see how that goes.
Well, that's all fantastic. It'll be very similar to the Uniform Collateral Data Portal, UCDP.
They will have much of the same functionality, but it'll be more integrated with their FHA site, and also they're going to have different hard stop rules. They've given a list of the ones that they're going to go with initially, and the additional ones to what the GSEs have are the ones on the appraiser, making sure there's an appropriate appraiser for the FHA, and also to make sure that there is a appropriate FHA number, you know, so that it matches.
CHUMS number.
Well, the CHUMS number for the appraiser, but the what is it called? It's the case number.
Right, case number, order number, yes.
Yeah, and make sure that it's the appropriate case number for the property and matches and all of that.
So for our clients, we're going to take each of you through the FNC gateway, just like we do for UCDP. We're going to take you through the gateway, secure, and we're going to take that appraisal up as a data stream, direct it to the appropriate portal, bring that back, and if you have GAR 360, you'll be able to take those codes and incorporate them in your workflow.
Right. Plus, we're matching the GAR rules to any new rules that they come, so that we'll have all of that working just fine.
Well, that's not the big buzz to this year. The big buzz this year is what is commonly referred to as TRID. TILA, RESPA, Integrated Disclosures. And TILA is an abbreviation all its own, so it's an abbreviation of an abbreviation. The TILA is Truth in Lending, and RESPA, Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. And so we just smash all that together and call it TRID. That's the big discussion this year.
Yeah, so excuse me, acronyms embedded in acronyms. There should be some special word for that.
So let's talk about that, and let's talk about the whole concept of TRID and this closing disclosure. So today, an applicant gets a good faith estimate, which may change several times. They may get several good faith estimates, and they get a HUD-1 at closing. As of August the 1st, they're going to get a loan estimate, and they're going to get a closing disclosure 3 days prior to closing. HUD-1, you get it at closing.
Right.
That's going to really change the industry.
Well, I mean, everybody, you know, you got to be prepared. You know, good Boy Scout model, and so you've got to have everything, all your ducks in a row a long time ahead, or otherwise you have a little problem. You got to redo it all.
And wait 3 more days.
3 more days, at least, minimum of 3 more days.
And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about, I got a phone call from an analyst in New York a few days ago, and he said, Bill, which vendors are not going to be ready? Do you think there will be some that will not be ready?
Surprise.
It's a yes or no question, not a surprise. We hope it's not a surprise. Do you think there's some not going to be ready?
I think most of them are not going to be ready, frankly. If there's too much, I think a lot of people are depending on the past behavior of regulatory agencies. You get right up to the deadline and then they delay it, you know, and they push it out. And we've had some indications over the past couple of weeks that we've had one official from Consumer Protection Agency saying, well, we may delay it, and another one immediately coming in and said, no, we're absolutely not going to delay it.
So you think most of the LOS vendors will not be ready?
Well, I think that they're going to be struggling. Now, when we say ready,
yeah, what is it? Wait, that's
another word.
That's the Ole Miss cheer. Are you ready? You know, and they follow that with a phrase, and so really, are the vendors are the LOS vendors that are doing TRID going to be ready?
Here's the issue, okay? In order to produce the form,
The loan estimate or the closing disclosure?
closing disclosure,
Okay.
okay, in order to produce that, there is a 1,000-page document that you have to comply with that the CFPB has produced, okay? So there's a lot of rules, a lot of variations, okay?
Imagine that.
Secondly, the GSEs have produced a 300-page document of how to use the MISMO data and convert it into the 1,000-page described closing document. The issue is that the document that the GSEs initially produced had a lot of errors in it, as did the data file, the trial data file that they created. And so they revised that, but they haven't created a new test file.
Well, let's be very clear to our listeners. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is all about a form.
Right.
They are not about data. They're about a form.
Right.
And so they want lenders to produce a form to give to consumers. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac want that turned into a data set.
Well, vice versa. They want the data set, you're right there, but they want to be able to take that data set and turn it into the form, okay?
Which
And-
is
yeah,
it's
exactly.
a chicken and egg problem.
Right, and the problem is that if the LOS vendors are producing just the form, they're not going to be ready for the data piece,
Right.
right? And then there's a lot of variations on that form that are not something you see every day. Okay, so these are one-off things, and it's very explicit in there how you deal with those one-offs. But will they be ready for all those one-offs? I don't know.
Well, let's talk about something else, a little twist, multi-language presentation. So today, the CFPB is expecting presentations, ideally in the consumer's native tongue. They're on English and Spanish today. We see the roadmap for many more languages coming down the road. Is that a big deal or not?
Well, not to someone that's multilingual like you, but for me it'd be a bit of a challenge.
Well, for our listeners out there, our clients, we have a TRID solution. We're going to release it in April. We're going to talk about April. Maybe we're not going to talk about the year, but we're going to talk about April. No, seriously, we're going to release it in April. It's about done. I call it a hairy beta. All right, that's a wild beta with hair on it. And so let's talk a little bit about that as it relates to what's important.
We've got the form mapped. We've got the conversion of the MISMO data to the form done. So we can generate the form. It enables, unlike the typical ones, it enables the user to interact with the closing agent so that there's some collaboration that goes on, tracks all of that, and then delivers that closing form. And it does it all electronically, so you can potentially save the 3-day mailing time. So it's pretty cool.
Which is a big deal.
Right.
The 3-day mailing time is a big deal, and so is the collaboration. The agents don't need anything; they just need web access, and they're good. Oh well, we'll talk more about this next week. We're out of time. This is FNC's Morning View. I'm Bill Rayburn with Bob Dorsey. We hope each of you enjoy the first week of spring and have a fantastic week. Bye bye.
Goodbye.